It was a good time, just a bad decision. We were all wrapped up with the best intentions. You were out of my league. I was running out of time to string together words that were gonna make you mine. Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how every now and then the unfortunate kind get lucky sometimes? "39 years you've been putting up with me. You folks said we'd never see our first anniversary. Do you remember that first week when you burnt that pecan pie? And I ate the whole damn thing. I couldn't stand to see you cry. Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how every now and then the unfortunate kind get lucky sometimes?" Then you got sick, and things just weren't the same. There were days I'd come to visit, you didn't even know my name. Then I watched you fade away while I was holding tight to you, until the nurses pulled me back and said, "There's nothing you can do." Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how every now and then the unfortunate kind get lucky sometimes? It's been 2 years to the day since you left me here alone. Most days I sit there in the kitchen waiting for you to come home. Yeah, I'm still haunted by your ghost. I can't sleep in our old bed. I just lay there on the couch thinking about the words you said. Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how it all works out? Ain't it funny how every now and then the unfortunate kind get lucky sometimes? How we doing, San Francisco? My name is BJ Barham. I'm in a band called American Aquarium out of Raleigh, North Carolina. It is good to be almost as geographically possibly far away from home as I can be. It's good to be here on Friday night. Thank y'all for showing up and letting me sing some songs for you. I like to start off every acoustic set with the saddest fucking thing I got. It really resets the room. Most of y'all look like y'all had a good time. Had some dinner, maybe a glass of wine. Fuck that. If you're here for the first time and you know who I am and know what the band is, you're not going to be surprised by some of these songs. But if you were lured here under false pretenses, if you were sent a playlist that involves songs like The Luckier You Get and I Hope Breaks Your Heart and Loses Out of 25, none of that shit to be found here. We're going to feel some feelings tonight. We're going to talk about some heavy shit. And we'll have a little bit of fun in between them. But I love starting the solo sets off with that song, just because, again, it resets the room. It lets you know that you're here listening to a songwriter. Oh, trust me, you're gonna fucking feel it. I promise. I'm not doing my job if you don't. But that's a fun song to start with because it's a song about love. It's ultimately a song about love. It's about two people living long enough to watch the other one pass, which is tough, but that's the truest form of love. And I love playing that song because it's universal. Everybody can find a piece of themselves in that song, whether it was your parents or whether you're currently going through it with your partner. But my favorite part about that song, being so far from home, is losing about half the crowd over my pronunciation of a nut. Midway through that second verse, I heard audible fucking gasp when I said pecan.
I say it all the time.
I heard somebody like, what did he say? Why did he do that? And I'm here today, friends, to tell you why I'm right and you are horribly wrong. There are these trees that occur in nature called pecan trees. They produce these beautiful nuts called pecans.
We've heard of them.
Nobody's arguing that. When they're on a tree, they're pecan. When they fall off a tree, they're pecan. When they hit the ground, they're pecan. When you pick them up, put them in a bushel basket, they're pecan. When you walk them across the threshold of your house, they're pecan. When you sit them in your kitchen counter, they're pecan. But the fucking second that sugar hits it. Friends, that's a pecan. That's a pecan pie, pecan praline, pecan sandy. What are they made out of? Pecans. Silly goose. And I like to tell that because there's some people who, even with such a thought out explanation, will still argue until they're blue in the face that they are right and that you are wrong. And I'm here today, friends, to tell you, no matter how you pronounce that word, we are both a little right and a little wrong. It's called regional dialect. Depending on where you're from, both of those are perfectly good pronunciations of the word. They're both technically right. It's proof that no matter how you believe something, you can be right and wrong at the same time. We'll get to bigger versions of that later in the night. But I've learned with large crowds, it's best to start small. With a nut. But thank y'all for being here tonight. This is going to be a real fun one. Woo! I still see you when I close my eyes on your back porch in the summertime. Kids on mama's side in the backyard, running wild as kudzu vines. If y'all get burnt, break off some mallow. If y'all get stung, rub in some tobacco. If y'all get hot or thirsty, you know where the hose is. Fireflies, June bugs, cicadas, menthol lights and heirloom tomatoes. Grab anything you want from the garden, better stay out of my roses. Ain't it funny how memory comes flooding back so fast when you accidentally stir up moments from the past, back when things were easy, not a care in the world. Back in summer days seemed to move in circles. Duke's mayonnaise and Cherokee Purple. I got out when I got older, but I never could shake the chip off my shoulder as big as a Buick. We used to climb in to go up to LNS Fast Stop, Mountain Dew or Big League Chew. If you were good, you could have both. Advance pay for another day. Just don't tell your mama. Funny how a memory comes flooding back so fast when you act accidentally stir up moments from the past. Back when things were easy, not a care in the world. Back when summer days seemed to move in circles. Duke's mayonnaise and Cherokee Purple. We lost her back in '95, but every single year about this time, something silly as a sandwich brings her back to the forefront of my memory. I can still hear the way she laughs, way that sweet tea tasted. Grab a chair, boy, from over there. These beans ain't gonna snap themselves. A song called Cherokee Purples. It's off our newest record. At its root, it is simply a song about a tomato sandwich. I have reached that point in my career that's what I'm fucking writing about. Spent most of my 20s writing about going to the bar and chasing gals, doing drugs. I spent most of my 30s talking about getting married, getting sober. Now I'm 40. I'm writing about fucking tomatoes. It's but that song's a lot bigger for me. It sounds a lot more than just a tomato sandwich. Cherokee Purples. A lot of people ask me what that is. What does that mean? That is my favorite strain of heirloom tomatoes. If you want to know what my top 5 are, I will be at the merch table after this. We can talk about that. We can talk about my favorite kinds of tomatoes. I've got plenty. But the reason Cherokee Purples are my favorite tomato is because that's the type of tomato my grandmother grew in her garden behind her house. And those tomato sandwiches are what I ate every single day in the summertime. To explain to you what a tomato sandwich is, I realize that once we get outside of the South, I have to explain what a tomato sandwich is. It's simple. It's tomato and bread. It's easy. None of that arugula bullshit. No bacon. None of that sourdough nonsense. None of that $17 at brunch bullshit. I'm talking about simplicity, folks. 2 pieces of enriched white bread. Shelf-stable white bread. Bottom shelf white bread. Some of y'all call it Wonder, Bunny, Burrito, whatever the fuck you call it. It's about $2.27 a loaf. It'll last through the apocalypse. You take 2 pieces of that, you spread it out. Then you spread Duke's mayonnaise on both sides. If it ain't Duke's mayonnaise, it ain't a fucking sandwich. Then you go out to the garden and you pick a tomato, a fresh tomato. It's got to be hot. Middle of the day, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. You come in and you cut that thing thick. And you put it on there and you put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, squish those 2 pieces of mayonnaise bread together and cut it in half. That's a death row meal for me. And to this day, I can still take a bite of that sandwich and transport. It's my favorite of the human phenomenons. It's called sense memory. It's my favorite thing in the world. The fact that a taste, a sight, a sound, a smell can immediately take you to a place. And not a fuzzy memory. I'm talking about crystal clear memories. It's amazing. And for me, that's that tomato sandwich. My grandmother watched me in the summer. My parents both worked full-time jobs, and my grandma had the task of watching us. And by watch us, I mean that in the loosest sense of the word. You've never felt freedom like going to your grandma's house this summer. The only thing that woman watched was her stories every day from 12:30 to 2. If your name was not Victor Newman, she didn't give a fuck what you did. Those laughing are my people. You're young and the restless, folks. I like it. Bold and Beautiful is okay, but we're a Nicky Jack Victor Fox. Sign me up. Did you know that the actor that plays Victor is still on the fucking show? Yep. He joined that show in 1977. Can you imagine finding your lane in 1977 and just staying there? I'm sure he got offered commercials and movies. He's like, no, I'm good. I drive Mama's crazy for an hour every weekday. I'm good. So think about it, like at least three generations of Mama's have forgotten how terrible their fucking life is for 1 hour a day because of that fucking man. Beautiful. But while my grandma was doing that, me and my brother got freedom. We got to run around in the backyard, we got to go in the woods. We had rusted fucking machetes. We're just running around chopping down trees for no good reason, other than to keep us occupied for 2 or 3 hours. I loved going to my grandma's house because about 2 or 3 weeks into summer break, she'd get tired of us. And so she would let us invite a friend over to keep us company. And that was always my favorite part of the year because I kept a lot of different kinds of friends, but I always kept one kind of friend in my back pocket. We call them the rich friends. My dad had a saying growing up, you do not need to own a boat. You just need to have a friend with a boat. And what that means is you ain't got to be rich, you just got to have somebody that lets you taste that lifestyle every now and then. And for me, I was a very advantageous first grader, second grader. I'd walk in the first grade. I'm not looking for the Kurt's and the Russells and the Allens of the world. I'm looking for kids with familial names. I'm looking for Harrison. I'm looking for Tristan. If Tristan's got a fucking silent Y, even better. Those are the rich kids. Those are the future doctors and lawyers of America. That's who I want to be friends with. So I immediately gravitated toward them because we both had something we could offer each other. They could take me on their family vacation once every summer, and I could teach them about the real fucking world. And their parents enjoyed them come over to my house because it was kind of like a scared straight program for rich kids. They'd send their kid to my house, and they'd come home all bruised up and hungry. But you have fun? It's like, yeah, but they're weird people. And their parents be like, that's why you read books. That's why you go to college, so you don't end up like the Barhams. And me, I got a free trip to the Bahamas when I was in the 7th grade. It's fucking Tristan ruled. But my favorite thing to do was teach Tristan about the real world. Teach him that life is hard. Life is not fair. Life is not given to you. And my favorite way to do that with him was I taught him how to drink out of a garden hose. If any of you are rednecks or below the poverty line, you know what I'm talking about. Rich people have those things called glasses and cups. If you got hot in the summertime, my grandma would just leave the house for 6 and 7 hours a day. She'd lock the door, she'd leave us sandwiches on the carport, and she said, if you got thirsty, drink out of that fucking hose. It had minerals in it. I still taste hose water to this day. She said it was minerals. What it really was like a dead cockroach that water was funneling through. But my favorite thing, my favorite form of class warfare was teaching those rich kids how to drink out of that garden hose. Because they didn't know what to do. And I said, man, it's simple. You just turn that spigot, you put it up to your mouth, you drink the water. I was a hospitable 8-year-old kid. I didn't give him any other instructions. And so Tristan turned the spigot, put it up to his mouth. We're not talking 9 a.m. hose water, people. We're talking about 2 p.m. Middle of July. That thing's just coiled up, sitting in the yard, no shade, direct fucking sunlight. There's no better feeling than watching that little trust fund baby get 3rd-degree burns all over his fucking face. Eat the rich indeed. It's a glorious fucking feeling. But this song reminds me of my grandmother, and it reminds me of hurting rich people. And thank y'all for letting me share that with you. This next one's heavy. This next one's hard. This next one is one of the toughest songs that I've ever had to write because it's about one of the toughest things I've ever had to go through. We're gonna get serious. Me and my wife lost a child in 2016. We had a miscarriage. We went in for the 10-week appointment. That's where you go to find the heartbeat. And the doctor let us know it was no longer a viable pregnancy. And that's just fancy talk for you ain't gonna be a parent yet. And nothing can prepare you for that moment. They hand you a flyer, pamphlet, that explains to you that 50% of women will experience at least one miscarriage in their entire life, whether they know it or not. But in that moment, you don't give a shit about statistics. you just know that you and the love of your life don't get to be parents yet. And that's tough. I've watched it break relationships, strong relationships. I've watched it crush them. If it wasn't the first one, it was usually the second or the third or the fourth. That's where it gets real fucking tough. Me and my wife have always prided ourselves on our communication with each other. We're very good at talking to each other about hard shit. The miscarriage built this wall between us. We didn't know how to talk to each other about this one thing. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to talk about it directly. I wanted to get around it, through it. She wasn't even ready to admit that it was happening to her, yet alone get through it. And so for 2 years, it just sat there and festered in our relationship. I'm not ashamed to say it almost fucking broke us. But almost 2 years to the day after we lost that first child, we welcomed a healthy little baby girl into the world. Her name's Pearl. Don't clap too loud, she's a fucking heathen. The child is, wow. My wife was so happy when she found out she was having a baby girl. She's like, yes, I win. I was like, the fuck you did. And then that kid popped out with this fucking face. Beautiful blonde hair, but this face. And for about 2 years, my wife held out hope. Well, maybe she's got my personality. Maybe she'll be shy and introverted. The fuck she will. That kid is wide ass open. She is loud. She's opinionated. She is well spoken. I love it. I love watching her go out into the world, even at 7, and just command people's respect. There's a world of fathers out there raising little princesses. I'm raising a fucking dragon. Whew. Feels good. Feels real good. She says fuck a lot more than I care for. But we're working on that. She's sassy too. She's got really great comedic timing. We've been in all the national parks for the last couple weeks. We've been just traveling. I'll pop into a city every now and then, play a show for you guys, and then I'm going to disappear in the woods for the next couple of days. But it's so funny because we were at Olympic National Park up in the peninsula in Washington State, and it's beautiful up there. We hiked up Hurricane Hill, and it's this 3.5 mile hike to the top of this peak where you just get to look out over the whole park, and it's breathtaking. But we get up there, and there was like an influencer up there, like a Lululemon gal, and she was standing on the edge of it, like doing that, and like my daughter couldn't understand what she was doing. She's like, is she okay? I was like, yeah, she's good. She's just she's gonna post this and tag like a brand or something. This is what they do. She's like, well, who's taking the picture? And we look off in the distance, about 200 yards away, her boyfriend, with like a high focus lens over there, taking these beautiful, expansive shots of her. And I'm trying to explain this to a 7-year-old, and my daughter just walks up to her and is like, hey, who do you think you are, like Taylor Swift or something? And most parents would apologize. I was doubled over laughing. Because those influencer types, I don't know if you ever watched them you don't ever get to see them get deflated. You get to see them in their glow up pictures and you never get to watch one just get ruined by a 7-year-old. I got fuck seeing an elk. I got to see an influencer get put down by a 7-year-old. Fucking rule. But I tell you this story about my daughter because the minute we welcomed my daughter into the world, we were able to address that trauma. We were able to go back. We were able to talk about this thing that damn near broke us. And I'm thankful that we got a shot at it because there's a lot of couples that don't get that shot. And I'm not here today to talk to you and bring you down or bum you out. I tell these kind of stories to remind you that you're not by yourself. I tell these kind of stories to remind you that there is a club that you are a part of. It's a shitty entrance fee. But you're part of a club and you're not alone. It's not the universe or God or karmic retribution. It's nature. And it happens and it sucks. This is the only song I've ever asked my wife's permission to write. Our second date, I sat her down. I was like, listen, I like you. This is going great. But if we're going to last, anything you say and or do from this moment forward could end up in a song forever. If you're cool with that, we got a shot. But if you're not cool with that, let's just call this what it is. And she said, no, I'm good. I love that you do this. I love that you take these big things and you simplify them into small things. I'll never get in the way of your song. She's regretted that fucking sentence for 15 years. But I asked her if I could write this song, because it wasn't my story to tell, it was our story to tell. And she had one rule for this song. She said, make sure it's sharp on both sides. And what that means is don't candy coat it, don't dance around it, be direct. So this is a song about us and our loss. And this goes out to anybody that's experienced that themselves. And if you're one of the lucky few that haven't experienced that, haven't been touched by that, look to your left, look to your right. Statistically, one of those people have. And this is for them. This is a song called Chicamacomico. Pack up your bags, babe. We're going for a drive. No, I can't tell you where that would ruin the surprise. Yeah, this winter just won't end. Lord knows what we've been through. It's been the kind of year that damn near broke us clean in two. So let's head down to the shoreline and wash off all this blame. I swim out past the breakers just to curse the Maker's name and try to find that piece of us we lost all those years ago out on the sinking sands of Chicamacomico. And I swear I'm gonna lose my mind if I have to hear about God's plan one more goddamn time. I'm just staring at the sky, begging for an excuse. Yeah, I never knew hard until I took apart that room that never got used. So let's head down to the shoreline and wash off all this blame. I swim out past the breakers just to curse the Maker's name and try to find that piece of us we lost all those years ago out on the sinking sands of Chicamacomico. And I'll never pretend to know what you're going through, but you ain't the only one who lost something that day. Honey, I lost him too. So let's head down to the shoreline and wash off all this blame. I swim out past the breakers just to curse the Maker's name and try to find that piece of us we lost all those years ago out on the sinking sand of Chicamacomico. So I went to North Carolina State University, home of the Wolf Pack. Go Pack! There's a couple of them out there. We're the most delusional fan base in all of sports. We are one of the most mediocre teams in all the country. But every year our fan base is delusional enough to think that this is going to be our year. That's one of the fun parts about pulling for a shitty team, is you have to learn how to appreciate the good stuff. I've got a tattoo on my arm. It's Mr. Wolf, our mascot. And it just says, wait till next year. Because inevitably, no matter how good we're supposed to be, no matter how high we're ranked, we are going to shit the bed. And when we do shit the bed and completely ruin the rest of the season, I look down at that arm and I remind myself, we got a hell of a recruiting class coming in next year. And a lot of kids are turning. We're going to shop the portal the right way. We're going to build it back next year. When you pull for a shitty team, you have to have those moments that you fold up, the good stuff that you fold up, put in your pocket to pull back out for every other year where you're terrible. And remind yourself why you invest so much of your time and your joy in the athletic achievements of 18 to 21-year-old kids. For me, almost every generation of State fans has something they get to invest in. The 70s had David Thompson, the Skywalker National Championship. The 80s had Jimmy V, the Cardiac Pack, another national championship. They won the championship in 83. I was born in 84. I have known nothing but mediocrity my entire fucking life. My daughter's 7, she got to go to a Final Four. She got to go and see that. The biggest thing that happened to me up until that was I had a 6'8" shooting guard from Harlem, New York, named Julius Hodge, number 24. He was a consensus 5-star All-American. He would later go on to be the 2003 ACC Player of the Year, be drafted number 19 in the Denver Nuggets, but I digress. When he was at State, he was special. He was tall, he was really lanky, he wasn't muscular. He had a really funny shot. But he was the kind of kid that if he's on the floor, your team's got a chance to win. He was scrappy, he had heart. He played every fucking second of every game, never gave up on it. He was the epitome of what you want to pull for as a sports fan. Fast forward to February of 2003. That's my freshman year in college. We're playing the number 1 team in the country, the Duke Blue Devils. You're gonna love this story. They've got a kid named JJ Redick on their team. They're a very good basketball team. Fuck that guy too, right? I thought this was just in North Carolina. This is beautiful. I'm in fucking California and y'all hate him as much as I do. Fuck yeah. He was a very good college basketball player though. And we had to play him and they were a 20-point favorite that night. But by some miraculous hand of God moment, we ended up beating the Duke Blue Devils. And it was all because Julius Hodge, he had a career game. He was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. This is an amazing game. And after the game, ESPN runs up to him and puts a microphone in his face. People, this is his moment. He has got a chance to say something so profound that it puts NC State athletics back on the map for good. So he looks deep into the heart of America's living room. Remind you, this isn't any of that ESPN2 bullshit. This is ESPN, the real deal, the flagship, primetime, Wednesday, 9 p.m. 3.2 million Americans watching, waiting for his response. So he takes a deep breath and he looks deep into their living room and he says, when we hungry, we eat. That's it. That's all he said. When you leave here tonight, you can Google Julius Hodge, hungry we eat. It is bizarre. But the best part of that video is not the absurdity of what he said. The best part is the camera then goes back to the ESPN analyst who is just standing there dumbfounded. He's like, well, there you have it, folks. And Julius Hodge, when he's hungry, he eats. Back to you guys in the studio. And that's the moment that I fold up and I put in my pocket. Every time they're terrible, I pull that out. I'm like, man, remember that one time? So fast forward to 2014, I'm writing a record called Wolves. And I wrote the title track of that record. And I wrote this song that personifies my addiction. I wasn't sober yet when I wrote this record. I was a guy who had admitted, I did the hard part. I admitted to myself that I had a problem. I just hadn't figured out how to get past the problem. So that record means a lot to me because it caught me in this really weird moment of recovery between admitting that I have a real issue and finding a solution for that problem. And so I wrote probably 12 verses for this song that personified my addiction as this pack of angry animals that kept pulling me down every night. No matter how far out I got from them during the day, once the sun came down, they got me. And I couldn't get away from them. The only problem was I couldn't write a chorus for this song. I couldn't write a hook. I couldn't write a catchy hook. And I tried for months to write a catchy song about recovery. And then I realized it can't be done. It's never been done. There's not a single song on the radio that's catchy about recovery. There's plenty of songs on the radio right now at this moment about cold beer, pretty girl, dirt road, pickup truck. There's not a single fucking song about having a glass of water and being responsible and maintaining friendships and close personal relationships. Doesn't exist. So I did what any kid from the state of North Carolina would do. I make an obscure ACC basketball reference right in the middle of the fucking chorus. So this goes out to Julius Hodge, NC State basketball, and people in recovery, because if you follow NC State basketball long enough, you understand there's a direct correlation between that and substance abuse. This is a song called Wolves. I knew I'd be a drifter since the day I turned 16. Watching my dad fix up cars and the smell of gasoline. I just wish that someone took the time to warn me about those evil things that lie beyond the trees. 'Cause when the wolves are hungry, the wolves will eat. I just wish these wolves would get their claws out of me. Yeah, I've never been any good at ever sticking around, but I'll always be the one that'll let you down. Seems like my feet start running before they hit the ground. Just wish they didn't always take me to the wrong side of town. 'Cause when the wolves are hungry, the wolves will eat. I just wish these wolves would get their claws out of me. Yeah, I can see the fire in their eyes, the blood on their teeth, and they can smell the fear in my bones and hear the shaking of my knees. The beautiful women, yeah, the sweet amphetamines. I just wish these wolves would get their claws out of me. I just wish these wolves would get their claws out of me. I think my favorite part of that story is me and Julius Hodge have become really good friends. Since then, I promise, he's become a dear friend of mine. He's an assistant basketball coach. Now he's a head coach, but for years he was the assistant at Buffalo under Bobby Hurley, and then he moved out to Santa Clara to be a coach out there, and now he's a head coach. But every time I would come to a city he was playing in, he would show up. And you could always tell that Julius was at the show because he forced whatever team he was coaching to come to the show as well. So if we were playing a show like this, you could always tell that Julius was there, not by Julius, but you would look across the back of the room. And the back of the room would be about 10 to 12, 18 to 21-year-old boys, all in matching sweatsuits. all with their arms crossed, wishing they were anywhere in the world other than this sad fucking singer-songwriter show. But if you see 10 to 12 people in the back row looking miserable, look at the front row. Because in the front row, every single time is Julius Hodge wearing an American Aquarium shirt, singing every fucking word of that song. And that brings me a lot of joy. This next song is a fun song. Not really. It didn't start off as a fun song, but every time I play it now, it's a fun song. It's about my first trip to Nashville, Tennessee. Music City, USA. It's where you go to make it in the country music world. Yes, I do consider myself a country music singer. I do not look the part, I do not act the part, I do not tweet the part. But I consider myself a country music singer. I sing about people, I sing about problems. I think that's what country music was based on, and I think that's what's the beautiful thing about country music is that anybody can gravitate toward these human experience songs and find a piece of themselves in it. Country music, today I play a bastardized form of country music, but I think it's closer to the root than what you hear on the radio. And that's not enough. If you love that shit on the radio, fuck yeah. Awesome. I used to be one of you. I used to be the no people. But then I realized, like, there's some people that get that much fucking joy out of those songs. And I'm not going to rob anybody of that joy. The same reason you guys really love getting depressed on a Friday night. Those people love paying $70, sit on the lawn with their friends and drink $15 beers and listen to songs about fucking trucks. Like it's well, do what you do. Do it, man. Find your truth and follow that. But I remember very clearly the first time we got booked to play a show in Nashville, Tennessee. It was 2006. I booked it on MySpace. We'd been a band for about 3 weeks, and I finally booked a show in Nashville, Tennessee. And I looked at the boys. I was like, "Listen, guys, this is our break. We're playing in Nashville." I was like, "I've seen the movies. We're gonna get up there. We're gonna play our show. There's gonna be somebody that walks up to us and signs us to a big old record deal. We're gonna get famous as shit." Yes. So we got booked at a place called the Springwater Supper Club in Nashville, Tennessee. It sounds fancy. It is not. I would not eat a meal there. Hell, I wouldn't drink a glass of fucking water there. There's nothing clean about it. It's a dive bar in the worst sense of a dive bar. I love a good dive bar. This is the antithesis of a dive bar. They ran this kind of scam for a long time, music venue scam. They called themselves a music venue, but every night they would book bands from 5 to 2. And every band got a 45-minute slot. And the goal was, if you could bring more than 20 people, you got paid whatever the door was. But if you didn't bring 20 people, they got to keep the door. And their goal was, every hour, every band would try to bring 20 people. And even if they missed and brought 10, that's 10 new people drinking cold beer for an hour. Genius business model for the bar. Terrible for patrons of the arts. But we didn't give a fuck. We were playing in Nashville, Tennessee, and we had the coveted spot. We had Tuesday night at 6 p.m. This is where our life changes. So we get there and we play the best possible set that we could have played in 2006. We were dog shit. We were so bad. But we gave it everything we had, and we had 7 people come. 7 people came and paid a $5 cover to see us play. And after the bartender came up, and she was so sweet, she said, "Listen, I'm sorry, only 7 people came. Y'all don't get anything tonight." I'm like, "Fuck, Nashville's hard, but okay, we're playing the game." And my life forever changed when the next band got on stage. And it changed in a very non-traditional way. The lead singer said something to me that sparked something that still burns very deep inside of me. He said something that let me know that this is not easy, that you have to work at it. It's a craft that you have to wake up every day and dedicate yourself to even get remotely better at. And that if you really want to make it, you've got to dedicate everything to it. You've got to give up everything to focus on it. But he did it, and again, in a very non-traditional way. The band that went on after us, imagine your dad works at Guitar Center. You following? And imagine your dad who works at Guitar Center started a band with 4 of his other buddies that work at Guitar Center. Y'all know the type. And imagine your dad's band of Guitar Center employees, the one band that they all find a commonality in is Richmond, Virginia shock rock band GWAR. Yes! You following? But imagine your dad's band can't afford the theatrics of GWAR. They can't afford the costumes or the pyrotechnics or the sheer amount of blood and semen it takes to be GWAR. So they do whatever any other hard-working band would do. They improvise. And your dad's Guitar Center band that was very much influenced by GWAR went to a thrift store and bought a bunch of football pads and spray painted them black. So far, I'm with them. Very intimidating. Kind of gives them the, militant monster look. I get it. They put on black football helmets. Again, kind of intimidating. But then they took a very, very different turn. Instead of spikes or blood or semen or anything remotely scary, they decided to super glue a bunch of fluorescent colored dildos all over the wall. I'm not talking about one or two, I'm talking about a plethora of dildos. A lot of dildos on their head, on their shoulders, on their chest. Truly remarkable sight to see. And then they walked out on stage, and I'll never forget, I'm sitting at the back of the room, and the lead singer looks deep into my soul, and he says, words that would, again, forever change me. He said, Americana night is fucking over.
Did he throw a dildo at you?
That let me know that I was not good enough yet. That I needed a lot of work. I needed to put in my hours to earn the respect of this guy. And for the next 10 years, I kept that story to myself. I kept it locked deep inside of me, and it burned. Every time I thought I'd gotten good, I was like, remember, if that guy saw me today, he'd still tell me I suck. Keep working at it. But then one night I had to buy some time before this song, so I told this story. And there was one guy, Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'll never forget it. He stood up and he said, that's my favorite band. What? You know, the Dildo Football Pad Band. They're my favorite band. And I said, sir, there's no fucking way you've ever seen that band. He said, they come through here once a year. They're my favorite band. They're called Shat. Like the past tense of shit. He said, yeah, they're called Shat, they rule. And sure enough, he Googled it and brought it right up to the stage, and there it was. Dildos, football pads. It was the band. Finally, after a decade, I had a name to go with it. Again, when you leave here tonight, they're on Spotify. They have one album. It's a 36-song greatest hits album. It's 19 minutes long. The whole record. You don't have to listen to a single fucking song. Just look at the song titles, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about Shat. So ever since I got a name to put with my inspiration, I dedicate this song to him every night. Wherever Shat is in the world, I hope they're inspiring some other C-level Americana singer-songwriter to truly chase their dreams. And so wherever you are, you fucking shining diamonds out there. I hope this song finds them well. This is, I literally wrote this song when I left the bar that night. And for 10 years, I traveled around singing it, having no idea that how beautiful that name was. So the only reason I play this song at the solo sets is so I get to tell you that fucking story. Well, the radio sings a sad love song. The rain outside just screams along. And we all dance for the lonely. Yeah, and over that hill the sun's waiting for me up in Johnson City, Tennessee. I got a show tomorrow in Nashville. And So I tried to call you on my telephone. Your answering machine told me you ain't home. Baby girl, when you gonna realize that you can't wash away all your pain with your dirty wine and cheap champagne? You're just dancing for the lonely. And goddamn, this city, to hell with the cold dark nights. And my God, you look so pretty under those city lights. Well, in every town, in every place, there's a blue-eyed story with a pretty face, just aching for a little attention. She's a hometown girl, alone at the bar. Hell, she tried to get out, but she didn't get far. So she's stuck here for a lifetime. But when she puts on that dancing dress, her lips are blood red and her hair's a mess. And she's ready to fall in love tonight. Oh, but after a few, they all look the same. Hell, I don't even think that he asked her name. She's just another notch on his bedpost. And goddamn, this city, hell with the cold dark nights. And my God, you look so pretty under those city lights. What part of this have we not been through? What good is the money if I ain't got you? Just know in your heart that I miss you. Well, I hate to cut it short, but babe, I gotta go. The boys were headed out to Ohio. I wish it was Carolina. And goddamn, this city, the hell with the cold dark nights. And my God, you look so pretty under those city lights. My God, you look so pretty under those city lights. She showed up like a vision, her summer dress whipping in the air like fresh laundry on the line. Delightfully enamored with a reckless abandon, we carried on like children with no sense of time. We fumbled through the darkness, wide-eyed, love drunk, teaching one another how the other's body worked. Ain't funny when you're flying, the last thing you're thinking about's just how bad the coming down's gonna hurt. And we were babies, having babies. Round here, that's a tale as old as time. I held her close, she cried on my shoulder, her summer skin shaking like the timbre in her voice. I watched what a kid did to my mother. I told her either way I would stand by her choice. So we packed up a bag and drove to the city. We shouldered through the pickets and the hand-painted signs. They called her names while they called themselves Christians. That sort of hate's got no place in any faith of mine. Woo! We just another starting line. $500 don't stretch out like it used to. $500 made it all go away. Do you ever think that God will forgive us? Reckon I still got a shot at heaven someday. Yeah, I had no idea that that'd be the last time. Went searching for something that I hope she found. All these years later, in the dog days of summer, I swear in the silence you can still hear the sound of the vicious cycle coming unwound. Of the vicious cycle coming unwound. Of the vicious cycle coming unwound. Thank you so much. She looked out the window and said, the world's on fire. I just laughed and poured her a glass of wine. We just stared at the TV, trying to find some meaning, hoping that we'd wake up from this dream sometime tomorrow. What a night came and went, not a damn thing had changed. That's when I saw a tear fall from her eyes. She said, what are we gonna do? What's this world coming to? And for the first time in my whole life, I stood there speechless. The load is heavy and the road is long. We've only begun the fight. We just can't give in. We just can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and be the light. So I packed up my car and I went looking for answers to the questions weighing on my mind. When did the land of the free become the home of the afraid? Afraid of the world, afraid of the truth, afraid of each other. This ain't the country my grandfather fought for. Woo! 'Cause I still see the hate he fought against. Give rest to the tired. Give mercy to the poor. Give warmth to the huddled masses. And I'll show you freedom. The load is heavy and the road is long. We've only begun the fight. We just can't give in. We just can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and be the light. I got a baby girl coming in the spring. And I'm worried about the world she's coming into. But she'll have my fight. She'll have her mama's fire. And if anyone builds a wall in her journey, baby, bust right through it. The load is heavy and the road is long, and we've only begun the fight. We just can't give in, we just can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and be the light. I wrote that song in 2017, and with the hopes that I would never have to fucking play it again. I hope that one day that song will be so like it wouldn't be needed. It'd be irrelevant, you know. And like, it's funny because fast forward, 8 years, and it feels more pertinent to play that song. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's one of those songs you write and you don't want to say "I told you so," but I fucking told you so. I hate to be the alarmist in the room, but yeah, that's one that is. I know this is not going to surprise anybody. Has found its way back into the set list a lot these days. Thanks. I got this magnolia tree in my front yard. It's a big old motherfucker. It's like, it's 92 years old and it's almost 100 feet tall. It's massive. When people think of magnolias, they think of these little bushes or kind of the smaller trees. This is huge. It's the biggest thing in my yard. And if you have a magnolia tree, if you've ever owned a piece of property that has a magnolia tree on it, you know where the story's going. For 2 weeks out of the year, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. When it's in bloom, you totally understand why people write poems and songs and state mottos about this magnolia bloom. It's beautiful. It's like the waxy green leaves play this perfect contrast to the bloom. It's truly spectacular for 2 weeks out of the year. The other 50 weeks out of the year, it's the bane of my fucking existence. It just shits in my yard. It's leaves, it's branches, it's cones, it's dead blooms. And right when I get to the point where I've had it, I'm like, fuck this tree, fuck the 90-year history. I'm calling and getting somebody to cut it down. Time has came back around and it's that 2 weeks again. And I'm reminded why I haven't cut the fucker down. It's because people walk by it on my street and they're like, holy shit, that is beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it is, isn't it? So one day I woke up and I'm a very regimented person when I'm home. I have I try to stick to a schedule. And every morning I wake up, I make my daughter breakfast, I walk her to school, and then I pour myself a cup of coffee. And I spend an hour just writing in my notebook, just pages, just stream of consciousness, just me talking to myself. I promise I'm not crazy. Usually it's a dream, it's something that's weighing on me, it's a problem, it's a verse that I'm working on. But this one morning I didn't have anything to write about. So I sat down and just blank page before me, I'm trying to think of what to write about, and I look out my office window and that motherfucker's staring at me. That magnolia tree, it's like, I bet you won't fucking write a song about me. I was like, I ain't got nothing but time today, magnolia tree. Again, I'm not crazy. So I just start writing this angry diatribe, yelling at a tree. And by about page 2 or 3 of me writing about this fucking tree, I start seeing a lot of myself in this tree. I start seeing a lot of myself, the version of myself my wife met. To where 2 weeks out of the year, I showed promise. And 2 weeks out of the year, she's like, man, that guy's got something. And then the other 50 weeks out of the year, she's like, I might want to chop this motherfucker down. And so what started off as a song about my hatred for this fucking tree turned into one of the, probably the closest thing I've ever written to a love song. And thank God my wife didn't chop the damn tree down. And this is for her. This is a song called Messy as a Magnolia. I was messy as a magnolia, blooming in the month of May. I'd set a match to a second chance, so fast it'd take your breath away. And she ran into a house on fire to offer up some help. Saw something inside of me I still can't see in myself. Singing, honey, take my hand. What part of I ain't leaving, don't you understand? I meant every word I said when I gave you that ring. Honey, I'm gonna love you till the wheels fall off of this thing. There's a darkness deep down in my soul, a sickness I can't shake. It's been there since I can remember. I got it, honest is my last name. But you saw something worth saving. Help me sweat the fever out. Behind every good man's a better somebody who should've never stuck around. Singing, honey, take my hand. What part of I ain't leaving, don't you understand? I ain't the kind to quit when the going gets tough. I've never ran from a fight. I'll sit right here if it takes all night. I meant every word I said when I gave you that ring. Honey, I'm gonna love you till the wheels fall off of this thing. Sometimes good people do horrible things, but sometimes those people need a reason to change. So honey, take my hand. What part of I ain't leaving, don't you understand? I ain't the kind to quit when the going gets tough. I never ran from a fight. I'll sit right here if it takes all night. I meant every word I said when I gave you that ring. Honey, I'm gonna love you till the wheels fall off of this thing. This next was another tough one. It's if you followed me long enough, you know this already. But August 31st of this month, I will celebrate 11 years in recovery. I'm proud of it. It's a huge part of who I am as a person. It's a huge part of why I'm still here. I would not be here if it wasn't for recovery. I am a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I'm comfortable saying that in large rooms of strangers. I'm thankful for recovery. But I want to let you know I'm not one of those judgmental sober people. I hope you get as fucked up as you feel getting on a Friday night. I'm not going to judge you. You know, what's that?
So why are you looking at me?
Generally panning the audience. I promise I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not one of those judgmental sober people. I'm one of those jealous sober people. I look out and see a lot of y'all having a couple cold beers, a couple cocktails, a couple glasses of wine, having a good time, being social. Not looking at you again, sir, I'm sorry. Not burning everything you love to the ground like a bunch of fucking adults. Fucking show-offs. I'm jealous of you. I couldn't do it. That's one of the hardest parts of getting sober is admitting to yourself that you can't do something that everybody else seems to do so easily. But I'm thankful for it. Once I got sober, I realized it's hereditary. It's in your blood. It's passed down from generation to generation. A lot of you, and some people don't believe that. I truly do, but you're definitely predisposed to it. And for me, in the South, you're lucky if you only get it from one side. Most people get it from both fucking sides. And it's really hard to run from at that point. But I got lucky. I'm one of those rednecks that only got it from one side. But as a kid, you don't know what substance abuse looks like. You don't know what drug addiction looks like. You just know two very simple things. You got cool uncles, and you got lame uncles. My dad's side, they were the lame rednecks. They were just boring. You know, they worked hard, blue-collar jobs. They took care of their one family. They drank cold beer on Saturday, and they went to church on Sunday. Lame. Uncle Clarence was the uncle on that side of the family. If the name alone does not tell you what side of the fucking fun spectrum Clarence fell on, let me tell you. Uncle Clarence was a highway patrolman for the state of North Carolina for 40 years. That man didn't laugh, didn't smile, didn't tell jokes, didn't season meat properly, gave shitty Christmas gifts. I loved him because I had to, but he was fucking lame. My mom's side, though, that was the fun side. That was the side we got excited about going over. That's the kind of rednecks like fist fought in the front yard. That's the kind of rednecks you make reality television shows about. My mom's side was a bunch of characters. And I had no idea it was all fueled by drugs and alcohol. I just thought, like, holy shit, that's what I want to be. I want to be that full of life. And every time we went over there, I had a bunch of uncles that were fucking cool as shit, but my favorite uncle was a guy named Uncle Benny. Uncle Benny was the coolest motherfucker that has ever walked the face of the earth. And the reason us kids gravitated toward Uncle Benny is because Uncle Benny talked to us like we were adults. He got down on our level, looked us in the eye, asked us how we were doing. How's school going? How's your parents treating you? Everything good? You got some friends? You got a girlfriend yet? And then he would proceed to give us cold beer. Friends, I don't know about y'all, but when you're 8 years old and somebody entrusts you with an entire can of cold beer, I'd go to war for that man. We were just a bunch of little rusty machete militia over there. We're just like, whatever you need from us, Uncle Benny, we will kill someone for you. Us kids loved him, and it was all because we felt seen around Uncle Benny. That's all it was. It was just being seen, not ignored, not being told to shut up and get out of the room. He saw us. And so we loved it. Also, we got real fucked up at 8 and 9 years old. And then one of my cousins ratted us out, snitched on us, told my grandma that we were in the woods getting drunk off Uncle Benny's cold beer. And my grandma called him a bad influence and stopped inviting him to things and told him he wasn't welcome at any of the family functions. You think that stopped him? Fuck no. Even a drunk knows when Christmas and Thanksgiving are. He just showed up late every single year. And every year, the parents are just naive. They're like, there's no way Benny shows up this year after what happened last year. And there's some other adult that echoes that ridiculous sentiment. They're like, there's absolutely no way after what he pulled last year. There's no way he shows his face. And those kids are just like, the fuck he won't. He's just gonna be here like 2 hours after we get done eating. So we would excuse ourselves from the table and go in the front yard and play. And by play, I mean, we didn't play, we just went out and awaited the chaos. And to give you some geographical perspective, my grandmother lived 1.5 miles down a dirt road. But from the front yard of that dirt road, you could see where the dirt road ran perpendicular to the state road, the paved road. And if somebody turned on to that dirt road going, let's say, 30 miles an hour, minding the speed limit, you would just see a car chugging down the road. That's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for socially responsible people. What we were looking for is the dirt cloud. And the only way you can get a dirt cloud is if somebody hits that dirt road going about 75, 80 miles an hour. So we're not waiting for cars, we're waiting for dust clouds. And one kid would see it before anybody else, like a fucking shooting star. They'd be like, look, and we'd look, and that's when the heart starts beating, blood starts pumping. Fucking Benny's coming. And we got so stoked because we knew to shut the fuck up, because if you got real quiet, you'd hear him before you saw him. You got real quiet, there's no wind blowing through the trees, no critters making any noise on the ground. You could just hear it. business. Taking care of business. And as that dirt cloud got bigger and bigger and bigger, that BTO got louder and louder. Then he got about a mile from the driveway, and out of that dirt cloud shot Uncle Benny in his fucking Trans Am. Because one, of course he drove a Trans Am. Two, T-tops out, year round, zero fucks that man. It was like a drunk Forrest Gump just waving at us out of the top of that thing. And he's just fishtailing all over the damn road. And it was awesome because the next mile, you have no idea what's going to happen. Is he going to put it in a ditch? Is he going to hit a pedestrian child? Who fucking cares? Benny's here! And then he got right to that dirt road. He'd pull that e-brake and he'd slam that brake and turn the wheel and he'd start going up my grandma's driveway. It was a little uphill. For the next 30 yards, he's heading straight at the kids. Floored. And he, right when he gets to us, again, we're cheering like we're at a goddamn football game. And it's like, Benny! And there's a car hurtling toward us. And right when he gets to us, he pulls that e-brake one more time, cuts the wheel, slams the brake, gravel goes everywhere. Two reasons. One, that's a cool fucking entrance. Two, he learned very early on in his life, if you park sideways in a driveway, nobody else gets to leave. And I still see it so crystal clear, like a fucking movie. Uncle Benny parks that car, it's like a wide camera angle, just closes in. Trans Am turns off, dust settles, driver door opens. First boot, hits, second boot, hits, and then he stands up out of that car, denim on denim on denim. Guys, it's 1994, there's no fucking cooler guy than that. Then he reaches in his pocket, he pulls out his sunglasses, and he puts them on, and then he Bo-Duke slides across the hood of that fucking Trans Am, and then he opens up the passenger door for whatever Holiday Inn cocktail waitress he's dating at the time. Because even though he was a drunk and a horrible father, he was still a consummate fucking gentleman. And that's when he'd do it. He'd come over to us kids. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Parents treating you good? Anything you need to tell Uncle Benny? Anything Uncle Benny needs to take care of? And then he would proceed to give us whatever contraband he had sitting in the back of his car. It was cold beer, it was cigarettes, it was Playboys. It was awesome. When you're 8, fuck the Easter Bunny, fuck Santa Claus. That's my favorite mythological creature that shows up on holidays giving gifts. And then he would look at us and every year, same thing. He said, well, I gotta go in and talk to these grown-ups for a second. Y'all watch the car. You better believe nothing's happened to that fucking car. We're a bunch of 8-year-olds armed to the fucking teeth. So Uncle Benny walks in, and as soon as that screen door slams on the carport, two things are happening within 5 minutes. One, something is breaking very loudly. Two, my grandmother, very small woman, good Christian lady, doesn't cuss ever, screams at the top of her lungs. Benny! I'm calling the fucking cops! And Uncle Benny's in no rush. He knows he's got 14 to 17 minutes before the county sheriff can even get to the house. So he is just cool as a cucumber. He just slides right out of that carport, puts them sunglasses back on. He says, kids, Uncle Benny's got to get the fuck out of here. And I still hear it. I still see it. He got in that car and he cranked it up. And I remember the ground just shaking. I remember standing so close to that car, you could feel the power of this man and his personality. And he'd back that thing down the road and he'd pull into the dirt road and he'd just leave it there for a second. It's just rumbling, idling. And he'd look over at us and we're sitting there, we're cheering on him. We're like, cut it loose, cut it loose. And he just looks at us and he starts grabbing the gas a little bit. And right when we're peaked, like, come on, he lets it loose and just fucking cuts out, just fishtailing everywhere. And we're cheering, he's riding off in the distance like a goddamn superhero. It was awesome. Uncle Benny died when he was 39 years old. Don't you fucking feel bad. How'd you think this ended? You think he like fixed himself? You think he had a vision? No, he burned it at both ends and went out exactly how he fucking wanted to. I was in 4 of that man's weddings before I was 10. 2 of those weddings were so close together, I didn't need another suit. I was a quick growing boy too. That tickled you, huh? Yeah, Uncle Benny, he wanted to go out that quick. He didn't give a fuck. He was living to live, which was, when you're a kid, it's the most inspiring thing to see. As an adult, it was just reckless behavior. But as a kid, it was like, holy shit, this guy doesn't care about anything. And that's what I wanted to do. I didn't realize I had a problem until I showed up to a family function uninvited. A little fucked up, depending on who you ask. But my mom pulled me aside and she said, BJ, it's so good to see you. But you know who you remind me of right now? I said, who's that, Mama? She said, you remind me of Benny. And we'll talk about my mom later, but my mom was the strongest person I've ever met in my life. I never saw her fear anything. I never saw her back down to anything. And for the first time, I'll never forget, I was 30 years old. For the first time in my entire life, I saw fear in my mom's eyes. And seeing that fear scared the shit out of me. 2 weeks later, August 31st, 2014, I'd have my last drink and I'd use for the last time. And I'm so glad of all the cool shit I've been fortunate enough to do in my life. I'm so glad that she got to see this guy. She got to see this version. She didn't watch me die early like her brother. She got to see this guy. I'm so thankful. And so this goes out to all the Uncle Bennies of the world. And if you're wondering who in your family is Uncle Benny, you can't pinpoint it, it's probably you. Wide-eyed and 21, another shot of Jameson to calm my nerves before this nightly masquerade. What people saw was nonchalant, a complex condition response, a chemical reaction, brown liquor and self-doubt. So that I can stand up on this stage like a guilty child, avoiding blame, I'd kick, I'd scream, and curse the name of the girls that walked away. You see, the man left holding the pen controls how every story ends, and truth becomes a martyr for the sake of the song. But yeah, I'm in a good place. I'm walking that straight line, just getting along, righting these wrongs one day at a time. For years the drinks were just a crutch, till the drinks were just too much. Guess it comes with the job. Hail, hail, rock and roll. You see, songs fulfill a human need to sit back and watch another man bleed. So for a moment, we don't have to feel sorry for ourselves. And this imaginary confidence became my first line of defense. If you don't let them in, boy, they'll never let you down. But she broke through and took control, my sweetheart of the rodeo. And for the first time, I found something I couldn't afford to lose. So yeah, I'm in a good place. I'm walking that straight line, just getting along, righting these wrongs one day at a time. Every now and then I miss the way that highball glass would kiss my lips like a long-lost love welcoming me home. I don't miss the highs and lows, the back and forth, the ebb and flow of letting down the people that are standing up for me. You see, I'm in a good place. I'm walking that straight line, just getting along, righting these wrongs one day at a time. Guess I'm getting along, righting these wrongs, one day at a time. Thank you so much. She's got your brown eyes and my cartoon smile, a spirit best described as wild. She's my spitting image through and through. I couldn't lose her in a crowd if I wanted to. And I knew that this day would come when I had to pay for all the damage I've done. If she ever asked what happened to us, please, baby, please, don't tell her how wicked I was. Oh, and she gets going, it's a sight to see. She's where the best of you meets the best of me. I'll never break her heart, and that's the truth. I just wish I could say the same to you. And I knew that this day would come when I had to pay for all the damage I've done. If she ever asked what happened to us, please, baby, please, don't tell her how wicked I was. When the shadows go bump in the night, I'll put her close, I'll hold her tight. I just hope she never sees the only monster in this house is me. And I knew that this day would come when I had to pay for all the damage I've done. If she ever asked what happened to us, please, baby, please, please, baby, please, don't tell her how wicked I was. It's time for a few more tonight. Thank y'all so much for coming out on a Friday and hanging. I was telling somebody earlier, it's been almost a decade since I've been here with the solo show. Last time I was here, I think it was 2017, over at Hotel Utah.
Hotel Utah.
That was what a magical little place.
Wow.
We fit like 10 people in there. It was awesome. It was fantastic. You were one of the 10. Fuck it. Well, it's good to be back and more than 10 people here. So thank y'all for spreading the good word. Me and the boys have made we really try to make it a mission to get out here at least once a year. I'm sorry we failed you this year, but we're going to come back out here in November. We're making a new record in November. And so that
Let's go!
yeah, we're back in the studio with Shooter Jennings in November. And yeah, we'll have another record out next summer, so I guarantee you we will be back here sometime next summer. A brand new record. This is another one of them tough songs. This is one of them hard ones. No easy way to dance around this one. I lost my mom on New Year's Eve of 2019. That is usually a day that we reserve for clean slates, fresh starts, new beginnings. It's a celebratory holiday. It will never be a celebration for me. It will always be marred in a way. It'll be the day I lost her. My mom was my best friend. That's easy for me to say. I talked to her 2 or 3 times a day. She was incredible. She believed in this thing before I did. We talked about everything. I never kept anything from my mom because she taught me early on she would never judge me for telling her anything. She would never hold it against me. She would never punish me if I was just honest with her. Told her what I was doing. Every good quality I have came from that woman. She dumped all the bad shit on me too, but we're gonna focus on the good stuff tonight. My mother was loud. My mother was opinionated. My mother was fiercely independent. My mother taught me the value of language. She taught me how important words are. She taught me that when you sound like this, when you have an accent, the minute you open your mouth, people are going to judge you. She said, make sure you are well spoken. Make sure you are articulate. Make sure they leave the conversation knowing that you've read a book or two. She taught me how powerful words can be. She taught me how to lift people up with words, how to make their day with words. But she also taught me how to cut their fucking legs out from under them. She taught me how powerful words can be as a weapon. Either my mother was the greatest mom of all time or she was a fucking sociopath. I like to think she fell somewhere in the middle. But my mom taught me, I used to fight a lot as a kid, all through high school. Every problem I had, I settled it with my fist. I was so angry. And my mom taught me early, don't ever let anybody talk down to you, and don't ever let anybody talk down to anybody around you without you stepping up for them. So I got in a lot of fights. And my mom, I'll never forget some of the most brilliant advice she gave me. Right before I went into the 9th grade, high school, she sat me down. She said, BJ, you're a bright kid. She's like, but if you ever want to get out of this town, you got to go to college. And if you ever want to go to college, you're going to have to make good grades. And in 9th grade, they have this thing called a transcript. And they keep up with every fight you get into. And if you get into a lot of fights, you're never going to be able to go to college, which means you're going to be stuck here. And I said, well, Mama, what do I do? What do I do if somebody's talking shit? Like, and I can't hit them. She said, BJ, you can use your words to hurt people. Tell me more. She said, BJ, when you hit somebody with your fist, those bruises, they heal. She said, if you learn how to use your words, those bruises will never heal. And a little light bulb went off in my head. It was like my mother was a time traveler who came ahead, learned what Twitter was, came back to the 80s, and started raising a goddamn assassin. She said, you gotta be quick, you gotta be witty, you gotta be funny, but it also has to cut. It has to be less than 140 characters. Why? Just trust. And so that's what I did. I learned how to be quick and cut, and I'm so thankful that woman taught me both sides of that coin, because some people learn one side and they don't learn the other side. My mother was a hard worker. My mom worked 2 jobs my entire life to make sure that I was afforded every opportunity she missed out on. My mother was a force of fucking nature. And I know a lot of people say that about their parents, but I'm being dead. When she walked into a room, she struck fear into people. She wasn't a big woman. She was very small. But she had this personality that when she walked in, the air just sucked up. People came to attention. They respected her. They could tell how she carried herself, that if they didn't show her respect, they would pay the consequence of it. It was incredible. She always told me she'd have my back. She taught me that early on. She said, BJ, no matter what you do in this life, I'll have your back on it. And I put that to the test when I was in the 10th grade. Algebra 2, Miss S. Johnson was my teacher. She was one of them teachers fresh out of college. She was like 23, 24. Did not want to be a teacher, but was teaching this. And I was really good at taking tests. I was really good at memorizing stuff and then regurgitating it a week later. I was perfect for public school. I couldn't remember it after that, but I'm really good at remembering shit and regurgitating it. And so she was teaching us something. She put this thing up on the board, and I saw that she made a mistake, and I raised my hands. Miss Johnson, you made a mistake. She said, well, get up here and shut me how it's done, smarty pants. So I got up there and I did it right. And she got so mad at me. She said something to me very disrespectful about me and my family. And so me being, I was very respectful. In the most respectful way I could, I raised my hand and I stood up in the front of the class and I told her in the most polite voice I could to go fuck herself. Was immediately sent to the principal's office. They called my mom, and my mom gets off work. She comes in. She said, "What did he do?" It's like he told Miss S. Johnson to go fuck herself. And I'll never forget. My mom turned her back. She said, "BJ, did she deserve it?" I said, "Yes, Mama, she deserved it." She said, "That's all I need to know." She turned around, and then she was an adult again. She was like, "I am so sorry to waste everybody's time. My son was raised better than this. He knows better than to use these kind of words in public. We will handle this internally at the house. I can assure you that none of this will ever happen again. He made a mistake. Let's just call it what it is. You can suspend him. I will scold him at home, and I will make sure that we never have this conversation in this office again." Does that sound like a good plan? And everybody was good, and we were on our way out the fucking door until Miss S. Johnson had to open her fucking mouth and say one thing. She said, "Before you guys leave, I just want to let you know that I don't think it's BJ's fault."
Oh shit!
I knew that we were in trouble, and my mom said, "BJ, get behind me for a second." I got behind my mama, and you just saw her smile get bigger. She said, "Miss Johnson, what do you mean by that?" Miss Johnson said, "I don't think it's BJ's fault. I think that it's a parenting issue." My mom said, "My son's wrong a lot. He makes a lot of bad decisions. He's young. His brain is not fully developed yet. And most of the times I am able to side with adults when they call him out on the dumb shit that he says. But in this one instant, Miss S. Johnson, I completely back my son. He was totally correct. You can 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, go fuck yourself." I was like, holy shit. She said, "BJ, let's leave." So we start leaving, and I'm fucking stoked. I'm like, me and my mom telling teachers to fuck themselves. It was like an 80s sitcom. The only thing missing was the credits and us high-fiving and just freezing. It was fucking, I was like, we're going to get ice cream. This is fucking awesome. And we're walking, and she said, "BJ, keep your mouth shut and walk to the car." And I was like, this is fucking cool. I'm looking at my friends, I'm like, my mom just told everybody to go fuck themselves. And I thought Miss S. Johnson was going to make the worst decision of the day. I would go on to make the worst decision of the day. I sat in the front seat of that car, and I buckled up. I locked myself into place. My mom got in the car, and I just saw that left hand go over to the child lock and hit lock. And not only could I not get out of the door at that point, I was stationary. And my mom proceeded to beat the living shit out of me in the front seat of that car. Always had my back in public, but taught me the lessons behind the doors. I'm thankful to be her son. I am thankful for the work that woman put into me. And when I say work, I mean that. I was a handful. My mom also suffered from the same disease that I have. My mom was an addict. Like I told you before, I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I got that shit under control. My mom was an opioid addict. She wasn't my whole life, though. She was the youngest of 6 children. She watched all of her siblings die before they were 45 years old of substance abuse-related deaths. She knew better. She called it the family problem. She said, "BJ, we are very good at picking up bad habits. We are very, very bad at putting them back down. Don't touch anything." And she didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she didn't do drugs, she didn't do any of that shit my whole life. But then, I told you she worked 2 jobs. At one of the jobs, she hurt her back. She had to have surgery on it. And that didn't fix it, so she had another surgery. And that didn't fix it. And over the course of 3 years, she had 5 surgeries on her back. None of them fixed it. But every single one of those surgeries took a piece of her that I never got to see again. It took her pride, took her purpose, took her personality. Watching a hurricane just fade into a breeze crushed me. Watching my mother go from being this godlike figure, just turning back into a human, was very, very difficult to watch. Then the doctors gave her these little pills. They're called Oxycontin. They were fucking magical. For the first month, I've never seen a drug work like that. She was up, moving, around, talking about going to work. She was cutting jokes. Her personality was back. So me and my dad and my brother ignored it when that half a pill turned into 1, and 1 turned to 2, and 2 turned to 3, and 3 turned. It was just medicine. Doctor gave it to her. It wasn't gonna hurt her. We're seeing it work. She's back. I didn't know my mom was an opioid addict until the early onset dementia kicked in. When my mom started forgetting who I was, she started forgetting who she had to hide that addiction from. And then it became crystal clear that those drugs had their teeth in her, and they were not going to give her back to me. You cannot tell somebody you love to stop doing something that's killing them when they have no fucking idea who you are. So we just sat back and watched as these drugs pulled her down. 2 months later, she was gone. When my dad called me, I wasn't sad, I wasn't lonely, I wasn't angry. I was happy. Weirdest joy I've ever felt in my life. I was happy because she wasn't hurting. I was happy because the drugs weren't winning anymore. Then the guilt comes. You're supposed to feel sad when you lose your mom. Sadness didn't come until the first holiday that I associate with my mom, which is my birthday. May 3rd. I'm a Taurus. Every year on my birthday, my mom would call me the exact minute I was born. 7:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not 7:33, not 7:35, 7:34. That phone would ring like fucking clockwork. And every year was the same shitty joke. She'd say, "Hey." I said, "Hey, Mama." And she said, "I just want to call and remind you that at this exact minute, 30-something years ago, you ruined me and your father's life." She said, "BJ, we used to be young and beautiful people. We had dreams and goals and aspirations. And then we had you." And she'd wait 15 seconds, 30 seconds, but eventually it came. She laughed. And friends, I have roamed this fucking rock for 41 years, and I have yet to find a sound that brings me that much joy than my mom laughing. I'm not talking about the laugh you do with your friends when they tell a bad joke. I'm talking about the stuff that like you can hear it rumbling deep in your belly, and it just builds and builds and builds until it has nowhere else to go except for just to funnel up, and then it comes out and just fills a fucking room. That kind of laugh. Every year I was guaranteed at least one of those on my birthday. Even when she was at the bottom of her addiction, she found a way to let me hear that laugh and let me know that she was still in there. So when my birthday rolled around after she passed away, 7:33, 7:34, 7:35, 7:36, that's when it became real. She wasn't calling. She was gone. For the first time in 6 months, I had to process that. And it fucking broke me. Watched my dad be affected on his anniversary. My brother, Thanksgiving. Holidays are the ones that make us miss those folks the most. And I've got a theory behind that. I think that the reason holidays hurt so much is because you have to relearn how to celebrate those holidays without the people that taught you how to celebrate them in the first place. This goes out to anybody that's lost anybody. You're not alone. Again, you're part of a club that you have to pay a shitty entrance fee for. But this goes out to my mom, and this goes out to anybody that's lost anybody of any importance. It's a song called The First Year. It's finally here, that time of year when your favorite flowers start to bloom. And the showers of April cascade into the sauna we call June. Yesterday was my birthday, the first one since you've been gone. All my friends say it gets easier. All my friends have been known to be wrong. 'Cause you left in such a hurry, I had so much left to say. Yeah, I'm just passing by, thought I'd stop and say hi, that I miss you. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, the two of you said I do. July 4 of 76. And it was all sunshine and rainbows till you threw a couple babies in the mix. They shining example of what love truly be. Like a castle made of sand, watch that mountain of a man fall apart when they laid to rest his queen. 'Cause you left in such a hurry, I had so much left to say. Yeah, I'm just passing by, thought I'd stop and say hi, and that I miss you. Happy Independence Day. And last New Year's Eve was like no other New Year before. You never think you'll get that call, till that call comes a knocking at your door. 'Cause you left in such a hurry, I had so much left to say. Yeah, I'm just passing by, thought I'd stop and say hi, and that I miss you. Happy New Year's Day. Thank you so much. We got time for one more song. Thank you guys a ton for being here. Thanks to Cafe du Nord for opening the doors on a Friday night for me. I appreciate y'all giving me a stage to sing on. I'm going to close out with the same song I've closed out every show with since 2011. Why break tradition, you know? People ask a really fucked up question all the time. They say, what's your favorite song you've ever written? That is a loaded question. Every single one of the songs I played tonight at one point in time was my favorite song I'd ever written. Every single song I've ever released at one point in time was my favorite song I'd ever written. Time has a funny way of sifting through those things. Time has a funny way of telling you what your best songs are. You can create all the art you want to and put it out in the world. Once you put it out in the world, that's when it starts getting judged. That's when people start ranking it. That's when people start telling you what your best songs are. Songs that I spent months fixing, tinkering with to perfection are songs that I will never play again. And there's songs that took me 15 minutes that I wrote pissed off at some girl that I have to play every fucking night.
Fucking South Carolina girls.
Yes!
You don't get a choice once you put it out there in the world. You don't get a choice what song resonates with other people. You just create the art that you create, you put it out, and you hope that it resonates with somebody. So I'll never complain about the songs that I tinker with for 2 months not resonating, because I got songs that resonate with people, and that lets me know that I'm doing something right. There's so many metrics to measure my favorite song by. It could be my favorite lyrics, favorite melody, songs I like with the band, songs I like solo, songs that pay my fucking bills every month. Love those songs. Those are great songs. I'll agree with y'all on those. Y'all keep streaming the shit out of those things. I love those tunes. But the metric that I chose to pick, because I had to pick an answer, because I get asked this question all the time, usually by lazy journalists. The metric I chose is what song changed my life? Simple. What song flipped the switch for me? No matter what you do for a living, you've been at that moment where the universe let you know that you get to keep doing whatever you're doing for the rest of your life. You have hit a certain point in your career where, oh fuck, I'm good at this. And if I choose to keep doing it, I could probably do this forever. If you ask me what record changed my life, that's easy. 2012's Burn.Flicker.Die changed my life. We put that record out and shows started selling out. We put that record out and people started writing about our band for the first time. It was, I'm not kidding when I say we went from being a local bar band to a national bar band. It was awesome. So I knew that my favorite song has to come off this record, simple. To give you some idea of where we were in 2011 when we wrote that record, we were struggling. We were 7 years into a career that was going nowhere. We were playing in front of about 5 or 10 people every night. But we were playing about 300 shows a year. And that's not an exaggeration. 11, 12, and 13, we did 307, 304, and 306. It wasn't because we weren't trying. We were out here every night. We were playing pizza parlors, punk rock clubs, dive bars. Anybody that gave us a stage, we were standing on it for 2 hours a night trying to make $50 to get to the next place. We wanted it, but nobody else gave a fuck what we were doing. So at the end of 2011, we sat down and we decided, maybe this isn't for us. Maybe we're not good enough. That's okay. To try really hard at something and then admit to yourself that you weren't cut out for it. When I was in 8th grade, I wanted to be a professional basketball player. I was 6'1" in the 8th grade. I was a power forward. I had a drop step. I could shoot. I could dribble with both hands. I had dreams of being 6'9", 6'10". Stretch threes didn't even fucking exist then. And I was going to be a stretch three. I was going to be a guard in a forward's body. It was going to be awesome. The man standing before you today is 6'1". Never grew another fucking inch. I was this big in the 8th grade. But then I got to the 9th grade and I went from a power forward to a small forward. Then I went to a shooting guard. Then I went to a bench player. And it became very, very clear that no matter how many times I showed up early to practice or stayed late, got shots up, it wasn't in the cards. No matter how bad I wanted it, I wasn't going to be a professional basketball player. In 2011, we had that same conversation as a band. And that's okay. We tried. We had one tour left in 2011. It was December of 2011. We went out with one of our buddies who was also, at the time, a struggling songwriter. And every night we were playing these songs. And he said, "Where's that record? Where's the record with those songs on it?" I'm like, "Man, we ain't got no money. We can't make no record. That's why we're quitting." And he said, "Man, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. If you don't make that record, you're not going to be able to sleep at night. You don't have to tour, but you need to make that record." And so I told him, "Man, we ain't got the money." He said, "If you can come to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, I'll make the record for you." And I'm glad I listened. I'm glad I took a friend's advice. Because that record changed my life. And that friend that we were on tour with is a guy named Jason Isbell. You're clapping. I think we're talking about two different people.
Sober.
Pretty sure you're talking about internationally celebrated folk icon Jason Isbell. I am talking about the drunk guy that got kicked out of the drive-by truckers. Two very different fucking people. They both they look different now. They both have You know, the voice of an angel and songs of generations, but they're different fucking people. I made a record with a ladder. We were both still drinking pretty heavily then, but I'm thankful because that record came out and it changed my life. Jason saw something. He saw in our band what I'd lost sight of. And he reminded us of that. And I'm thankful because I don't have a career if it's not for that guy. He'll never take credit for it. He'll always say it was us. But I owe him a lot. I owe him my sobriety. I owe him this life. I'm friends with him for a reason, and he's one of the good ones, man. Just don't cross him on the internet. But the reason I picked this song to close every night with is because this is the first song I sent him. He sent me a text message about 2 weeks before we went to Muscle Shoals. He said, I need some demos. I'm like, man, I ain't got no money. I ain't got demos. And he said, I said, why do you need demos? And he said, because if the song sucked, BJ, I can't put my name on this. And so I made him a voice recording of this song and I sent it to him. And before I could send him a second voice recording, he just sent a text message back and said, as long as everything else is like this, we got a record. So I didn't send him a single fucking song after that. I just said, yeah, man, that's one of the new ones I'm still working on. If you like that, you're gonna love this record. It's all heat. And he bought it, and we made the record. And if I don't send him that song first, I don't think we make that record. And if I don't make that record, I'm not standing in San Francisco on a Friday night playing these songs for you guys. So thank y'all for being here. My name is BJ Barham. I'm in a band called American Aquarium. Come say hey after the show. I'm going to leave you with this one. This song called Burn.Flicker.Die. Dollar bill prescriptions in the bathroom stall. Red-headed women and alcohol. They say it ain't so, say it ain't last call. The whiskey on the rocks and Adderall. The whiskey on the rocks and Adderall. Oh, we're no different than neon lights. We turn us on, we stay up all night. We do what we can, we put up a fight. We burn too long, we flicker and die. It's nights like these and the drugs don't work. Now they just get in the way instead of picking me up. And I wish my addictions didn't mean so much. But we all can't be born with that kind of luck. You can try, but you won't fix what's wrong with me. Every night I'm my own worst enemy. And I'll find a way to quit when they bury me. 'Cause I can't turn down the drinks when they're free. I can't turn down the drinks when they're free. Oh, we're no different than the neon lights. We turn us on, we stay up all night. We do what we can, we put up a fight. We burn too long, we flicker and die. Every girl in that bar looked like 1965. With her sailor tattoos and her drawn out eyes. Every now and then she still crosses my mind. And by every now and then I mean most of the time. By every now and then I mean all of the time. Oh, we're no different than neon lights. You turn us on, we stay up all night. We do what we can, we put up a fight. We burn too long, we flicker and die. 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 Thank you guys so much for being here.